in our own way, be grateful for the love that has been shown to each one of us, the graduating seniors, and for the opportunities given to us to respond to that love and share that love with others during these past 4 years. As we come to such a major stepping stone in the path of our lives, we give thanks for all the efforts that have been poured into our lives through our parents and teachers and the many people of this community who have done so much to encourage us and enrich our educational environment. We are also grateful for the recognition and the honors that this district has received because of the dedication and service of the students here this evening. But we know that the real fruit of our labors will be revealed as we, young men and women, move on to accomplish the goals that have been set for us. So our offering this evening is this, that our lives will be touched in such a way that will enable us to reach our total potential, that we will seek wisdom and strength in all of our endeavors, that our eyes will be focused so that we can receive every blessing that is in store for us, and that we will always be filled with a desire to serve others. Thank you.
Is it hot enough for you guys? All right. My name is R.J. Proville. I'm the senior class president of Upper St. Clair High School. On behalf of myself, all of student council, and the senior class, I would like to welcome all of the parents of the seniors to graduation today. The class of '95 is made up of a big bunch of really good kids. Well, most of them are good anyway. I think some of them are good, at least. We've waited for this day for the past 13 years, and it's finally upon us. There are a lot of mixed emotions, happiness, sadness. We really don't know what to feel right now, but I'm sure all the parents are feeling great. They're finally getting their kids out of their house. So. But other than that, everyone just enjoy the ceremony today, and thank you very much.
My fellow classmates and friends, I'm greatly honored to be able to address you here today. I offer you my congratulations on a great achievement. We arrived here 4 years ago, young and directionless, unsure of the journey we were about to embark upon, but eager to begin. Today we leave a little older, a little wiser, a little more certain about this path we have started down, and with hopes and plans to take on the unfolding future, a future of uncertainty and new beginnings. Life is a journey, individual in its nature, and no two men will travel it alike. We have come a long way down this path of life to reach this day of graduation. However, as Sir Winston Churchill noted, this is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. It is perhaps the end of the beginning. With this day of graduation, we have not ended our journey, but rather we have left behind the path of our youth, where our journey first commenced. Today, as we leave behind our youth, we mark a special place in our journey. We have reached a crossroads from which springs forth many different paths. No one will choose the same way, and each of us must choose alone. Select your path wisely, for it will become your future. Listen to your heart and your soul, follow your dreams, and choose worthy goals. Remember that it is not only the path you choose, but also how you walk that path. Whether you walk in fear with timid feet, or with confidence and faith and head held high. The future is uncertain, and I cannot tell you where the road will bend, when the path will darken, or how high you will have to climb to overcome the mountain that stands in your way. Perseverance and faith will keep you on the golden road which you have been set upon. Do not lose sight of your goals in a world of noise and haste, but always stay true to yourself and the world. Walk with a clear and distinct step, accomplished not only for yourself, but also for the world you share, and hope to leave the world a little better than you found it. Remember that everyone can be great. And in the words of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. Though we will choose our own paths and go our separate ways, we have walked together for a long time, and the memories that we shared will never be forgotten. I would like to thank everyone who has journeyed with me thus far and helped to set me on my golden road. Thanks to God for setting me on this beautiful earth, to my parents for giving me everything I could ever ask for, to my teachers for all their encouragement and inspiration, and to my friends for all the support and good times. To the class of 1995, thanks for the memories. Congratulations on a successful beginning, and best of luck on the rest of the trip. Stay on the golden road. Thank you.
Greetings, fellow students, parents, and friends of the members of the class of 1995. First, I wish to congratulate my classmates on their outstanding achievement as the 1995 graduates of Upper St. Clair High School. I am honored to have the opportunity to address my class on this momentous occasion. Now I'd like you all to close your eyes for a minute and pretend with me that we are all sitting outside with the sun beating down on us as planned in the stadium. I know that if I had to choose a spot on school grounds from which to speak, I would be standing right where I am now. Outside of the classroom, it is on the track around this field that I have spent the most time and learned many valuable lessons during high school. As a member of the track and cross-country teams, I have learned to apply what I learned on the track to everyday life. Recently, as I reflected on the past 4 years, I realized how similar high school is to my favorite track event, the mile. Comprised of 4 laps, the mile is run in a way which parallels the 4 years of high school. The first lap of the mile is characterized by uncertainty. No one is really sure what kind of pace to start out with. Often an inexperienced runner gets cocky and goes out too fast, only to be passed by a more experienced runner later in the race. Similarly, freshman year is a time of anxiety and doubt. No one is exactly sure what to expect, and any freshmen who overstep their boundaries are promptly humbled by upperclassmen. The second lap of the mile is the time to set one's pace. It is this lap that has a strong impact on how the rest of the race will go. Sophomore year is also a crucial time. Habits that are formed during this grade are likely to determine the student's performance in the years to come. The third lap is the time to make one's move. A runner must take the risk of surging ahead, knowing that he may pay on the final lap. Likewise, junior year presents the opportunity to surpass one's own standards. Sacrifices are made in hopes that they will pay off, but like anything, there is no guarantee. In both the final lap of the mile and senior year, one can choose to either coast in or to sprint down the final straightaway. When I look back, I realize that apart, each lap or grade was insignificant, but that each contributed to a larger purpose. Many things in life are like this, requiring persistence and struggling to achieve what seems to be an elusive goal. In the years to come, all of us are sure to feel like we are swimming against the tide at one time or another. Perseverance, however, is the key to overcoming frustration. I would like to conclude with a quote from Rice. When nothing seems to help, I go and look at a stonecutter, hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times without as much as a crack showing. Yet at the 101st blow, it will split in two, and I know it was not that blow that did it, but all that had gone before. Let us all approach our futures with this kind of confidence and determination. Good luck to you all.
A future that will pit us against a universe of what-ifs and an infinity of maybes. A future that has more to do with family and friends than with people named O.J. Simpson or Marcia Clark. In hindsight, our high school years will be remembered as a series of generalizations, likely ignoring the details, like the wild shots, the wild parties, and the wild animals in the biology room. If you remember nothing else about high school, take with you the knowledge that these 4 years were only the beginning of the journey, the best sights and sounds are yet to come. Your future, your personal undiscovered country awaits. And I ask you now to leap beyond these paper bullets of the brain, this timid lying morality, to conquer what's yours. Our future will hold its share of joys and sorrows, but knowing what I know about the class of 1995, it will be anything but dull. Thank you.
As I thought about what to talk about today, I tried to think of a person who has influenced many of our lives. My mind wandered from authors to teachers to celebrities, but nobody hit me as who I wanted to talk about. Then, as I glanced across my bookshelf, my collection of Dr. Seuss books caught my eye. As I leafed through the well-worn pages, memories flooded my mind, and I realized what a great impact this author has had on our generation, and the valuable messages he has given us that we can take with us as we move on to our future today. Dr. Seuss's first impact on us was when we were just preschoolers and kindergartners. Dr. Seuss helped many of us learn to read with silly sentences in The Cat in the Hat and Hop on Pop and Green Eggs and Ham. Remember Sam I Am? As we went through our elementary and middle school years, the Lorax was a favorite of many, teaching us about how evil greed is. Remember how the Onceler chopped down the truffula trees to make his business grow, then how the Lorax came and pleaded, "I am the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs." He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, "What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft?" The Onceler did not listen to the Lorax, though, and because of his greed, the trees and their little fuzzy representative, the Lorax, were destroyed. Our junior high and high school years brought on the Sneetches, those little guys who argued about who was better, the ones with the stars or without. As Dr. Seuss wrote, "Now those stars weren't so big, they were really quite small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all." But those little stars did matter to the Sneetches, and they caused all kinds of harsh feelings. But when the Sneetches finally realized that the only thing keeping them from living in peace was the presence or lack of a star, they got over their differences and became friends. Through this story, Dr. Seuss taught us how stupid it is to judge people by superficial things, a lesson that still has importance and impact for us today. Now, as we look to the future, whether you are starting college, working, or beginning a family, another of Dr. Seuss's books becomes relevant. In Oh, the Places You'll Go, Dr. Seuss writes about the challenges we face as we step into the real world and how to successfully handle them. Listen to what he has to say. "Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up, you'll be seeing new sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to great heights. You won't lag behind because you have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and soon you'll have the lead. Wherever you go, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you'll top all the rest. Ready for anything under the sky, ready because you're that kind of girl or guy. So be sure when you step with great care and great tact, and remember that life is just that great balancing act. So you're off to great places, today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way." So congratulations, everybody, and always keep the lessons of Dr. Seuss in mind, and with them, oh, the places you'll go. Thank you, and God bless.
Good afternoon. Thinking about the content of my valedictory speech and trying to stray away from the ordinary and trite speeches, I eventually settled on a unique topic applicable to everybody, the theme of finding a niche in life. I believe everybody corresponds to a particular portion of life in some manner, and I hope that everybody has found or will find their personal time in the sun. In my opinion, it does not matter how one finds their role or how much success arises, but that everybody finds their own niche and place in society. Take, for instance, the star athlete, that athletic person who guided a high school team to unprecedented laurels and heights. Examine the creative artist who brilliantly portrayed an excellent and original work. There are cases of talented young musicians that perform breathtaking renditions. Every individual has their own place and niche that brings success and pride to themselves and their loved ones. For those that are still looking for their niche or part, perhaps college may provide an answer. The many rich and exciting opportunities, the change of setting and scenery, and basically a fresh start can guide students to their own niche. And there are still those that have found a role and a place for success through employment, receiving hands-on experience while possibly combining a job with schoolwork. Hopefully, in attempting to cover and include all members and groups of our graduating class of 1995, I have included a place and a time for success in all of our lives. I wish for everybody to find their own moments of personal glory, those unique instances where proficiency coincides with desire. For it is not how long or in what capacity one creates a niche, but that the niche does in fact exist. A special thank you to my parents for their unwavering support and assistance, and best of luck to all of the class of 1995 in continuing to carve out your own place in society.
Friends have always been an important part of my life, especially throughout the past 4 years of high school. So I thought I'd start off with a poem that I love entitled Friendships. There are those who pass like ships in the night, who meet for a moment and sail out of sight, with never a backward glance of regret, folks we know briefly then quickly forget. Then there are friends who sail together through quiet waters and stormy weather, helping each other through joy and through strife, and they are the kind who give meaning to life. This poem summarizes a significant part of my 18 years living in Upper St. Clair. I've met a countless number of people, I've established many acquaintances, but one of the most important aspects, and the one I will cherish forever, is the special friends I've made during my high school years. Our friendships developed similar to that of a river. As individuals, we started out as droplets in a stream. As we met, we were then like the tributaries flowing around the rocks and other obstacles that would stand in our way. Together we formed the river, stronger, bigger, and always moving forward. We survived the bad times, the floods of emotion, hardships, worries and fears, finals, and for my fellow German students, the German grammar tests. And we basked in the quiet pools and eddies of musicals, movies, dinners, hanging out, and the not-so-quiet Rusted Root concert. But like all the great rivers, we must now flow into a larger body, the ocean of life. Although we will now be spread far and wide, the memories of our journeys will never die. We will be friends for life. We will make new friends in college, in jobs, in relationships, and in new communities, but they will never replace the friends who have sailed together. I have another quote that we should keep in mind as we all go our separate ways. Do not be dismayed at goodbyes. A farewell is necessary before meeting again. A meeting again after moments or lifetimes is certain for those who are friends. I would like to thank all my friends for the numerous memories. You guys have been incredible, and I'm going to miss you a lot. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I guess this is what the word bittersweet is all about. I don't want to stand up here and give you a mess of generalities about success in life, so I'm just going to breeze through 4 points that I feel are important in mentioning. First, I would like to thank my family for putting up with me all these years. Without their support and patience, I could have never made it this far. Second, I'd like to use this opportunity to make some comments about my total educational experience. Except for physical education, most classes in my opinion, this enthusiasm separated those two more quickly. These teachers also taught me one lesson that will stay with me for the rest of my life, and that is this. No matter what path I choose to take, the sky is not a limit, but an open-armed invitation. Third, although certain infirmities exist within our school district, we must realize that no institution can ever be without some degree of imperfection. For this reason, I encourage every one of you to question the established authority and operate by your own code of ethics, rather than by
He talked about activities, pursuing an extra interest. He talked about sports, taking a top place. In review, they concluded that they were performing above and beyond. They indicate we grew from all our experiences. The knowledge that we gained helped us to develop confidence for the next adventure. All through it, we enjoyed the ride, and because the ride kept moving, the rough times passed. And now, here we go again, on into the future. I submit the class of '95 is very well prepared for this next ride. The class of '95 has distinguished itself in terms of academics, arts, athletics, citizenship, and leadership. The class has satisfied the requirements as identified by the State Board of Education. Furthermore, they have satisfied the requirements for graduation that have been identified by the Upper St. Clair School Board. Dr. Pope, it is with honor and pride that I present to you the 1995 graduating class of Upper St. Clair High School.
I want to first of all thank the class of '95 for sharing this special day with us. It is one of the highlights of anybody who spent their career in education to get an opportunity to talk to students. And although it's hot and uncomfortable, I ask you not to remember all the programs that are waving to your right and left, but to remember the children that are here today, the students that may have started with you in kindergarten in Baker, Eisenhower, or Streams. Remember those who sit on either side of you. I relish these moments, and I hope that you will also. There is only one high school graduation. It is something you will celebrate again and again, not only tonight, not only this summer, but every 5 years you will have a reason to come back and see each other, to hug one another and tell each other all those success stories, to reach out and shake hands and talk about your future, where your future begins tonight. I can tell you a little story about you. The story was told to me by a consultant. You know what a consultant is? That's someone that you call when you have an unsolvable problem. He tells you what you knew already. You pay him a lot of money for telling you that. And he rides out of town while you marvel at his insight and wisdom. Well, this consultant was traveling in the Orient. He was going to do a workshop on self-esteem, something I believe very strongly in. It's not very popular anymore, but I still believe in it. He asked if he could take his wife along because he felt he probably would never get to the Orient again. So while he was visiting Hong Kong, it was recommended to him to take his wife to Thailand. And if he got to Thailand, to make sure that he had an opportunity to visit all the temples. Apparently in Bangkok and around Bangkok are the most beautiful Buddhist temples in the world. And on this trip, he went into one such temple and marveled at this huge 10-foot statue of Buddha that was made of solid gold. Can you imagine the magnificence of a 10-foot statue of solid gold? The street value of the metal alone is $96,000. And as anything you find in antiquity, there's a story that goes with this monument. It seems that centuries ago, when the Burmese were going to invade Thailand, the Buddhist monks, in an attempt to save this sacred statue, began to coat it with clay. They put layer and layer and layer of clay over this wonderful statue until it was no longer 10 foot, but it was closer to 11 foot. And as luck would have it, after the Burmese invaded and killed all the monks, they didn't ransack the temple, they didn't steal the clay statue. In 1957, probably before most of you were born, definitely before most of you were born, but not before the faculty or I, when they began to move this temple to another part of Bangkok so they could expand the highway system, as they was moving it with a crane, it cracked. And the head priest ran down and said, "Please don't move it anymore. We can't dare lose this beautiful clay statue." So they covered it with tarpaulin to keep it out of the weather. And that night, late that night, he came back with a screwdriver and a flashlight and began to inspect the clay statue under the tarpaulin. As he was shining the flashlight, something reflected back to him. So he began to chip around with his screwdriver, and he found this wonderful gold statue. I submit that that's probably what we've done with ourselves. We have covered ourselves with layer and layer of clay. Every time someone embarrassed you, you put a layer of clay over yourself. Every time you sort of felt different, you put another layer of clay over yourself. We spend our lives covering up the beauty, the gold, the essence. To protect ourselves, we all end up looking alike. Maybe one time we put a layer of clay on so we look like we have long hair. Another time we have short hair. Another time our layer of clay has blue jeans with holes in the knee. Another time 2 earrings in each ear and maybe even a tattoo. We keep covering ourselves with a layer of clay until only we're clay replicas of the beauty that's within us. Tonight is the night it's okay to be you. Tonight is the night you strip off the clay, you show the world your beauty, you've made it. You don't have to be anything but yourself from this time on. You are successful. Your parents have realized it all along. Your teachers have realized it. Now you have to let the beauty shine through. You have to shine. This world, Upper St. Clair, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, does not need one more clay statue. It does not need one more 10-foot clay statue of Buddha or anybody else. It needs you, just you. I'm here to tell you I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you. You have an opportunity to begin your life. Reflect the love that brought you here. Go out and treat someone else to it. Be yourself. Be a friend. Before you leave this gym or you leave this cafeteria or leave this school, look at another member of the class. All of them together make up your experience. Look in their eyes and see who you are. You will not see a clay statue. You will see yourself. The world is waiting to see you. That's who I'm here to shake hands with. That's who your grandparents, parents, relatives, and friends are here to graduate. To watch graduate, to enjoy this evening. I hope that every day in your life will be as happy as this one. But as happy as it will be, realize that your parents and grandparents are going to feel just a little bit sad. If you see an extra tear, it's the tear of love. Congratulations. Mr. Harbaugh, President of the School Board, may I present to you the about to graduate class of Upper St. Clair, 1995.
Graduating class, family, friends, and faculty. On behalf of the school board, I would like to offer our congratulations to the class of 1995 and best wishes to each graduate for success in whatever he or she chooses to do, whether it's going on to college or embarking on a career. 4 years ago, my daughter sat where you are now sitting, as did my son 3 years before that. At 6:00 a.m. on the day after his graduation, my son started a summer job on an assembly line in a non-air-conditioned factory, similar to this. This, my wife and I were convinced, would be a lesson about the value of $1 and respect for hard work. 4 years later, after my son graduated from college, he informed us that he was rewarding himself with a ski vacation in Wyoming. Well, it turned out to be a 2-year ski vacation. So much for our lesson. This story simply shows that no matter what lessons we parents and teachers try to teach our children, it is still the choice of the children whether or not to listen. Fortunately, chances are that one way or another, our children will learn the lessons on their own. Just as my son finally learned the value of $1 when his skiing buddy turned out to be a 35-year-old con man who fled across the state of Wyoming with a large portion of my son's life savings. Perhaps as a result of that, my son just finished his first year of law school. My daughter graduated from Penn State a few weeks ago, and we hope will start graduate studies at Duquesne in the fall. At my son's graduation, the commencement speaker was a woman named Marion Wright Edelman. She was the first African-American woman admitted to practice law in the state of Mississippi, and is the founder and president of the Children's Defense Fund, which is widely considered to be the most powerful voice in the country on issues dealing with children. She is also the mother of 3 sons and published a book entitled The Measure of Our Success, containing a letter of advice to her sons upon their graduation. At our graduation a few years ago, Dr. Pope read some excerpts from Mrs. Elliman's letter. Likewise, I thought it would be timely to do so today. I have chosen 6 points. There are 25 in all. These are lessons that all we parents have learned the hard way, and that we wish we could tell our children and make them listen as they are embarking on their next great adventure, whether this is going on to college or into the workforce. Number 1, there is no free lunch. Don't feel entitled to anything you don't sweat and struggle for. While a high school or college degree may get you in the door, it may not get you to the top of the career ladder or keep you there. You've got to work your way up hard and continuously. Number 2, choose your friends carefully. Stay out of the fast lane and ignore the crowd. Find your own niche in life and try to do at least one thing uncommonly well. If you struggle to see and hear and understand and respond to the needs of those all around you, asking how you can serve them, not how they can serve you, you will not be tempted by fast lane friends and will never lack purposeful work. 3, be honest. Struggle to live with what you say and preach. Be an example for others. Practice saying please and thank you, since these are 2 of the most important phrases in the English language. Being considerate of others will take you further in life than any high school, college, or professional degree. 4, don't be afraid of taking risks or of being criticized. If you don't want to be criticized, don't say anything. Don't do anything. Don't be anything. Don't be afraid of failing. It's the way you learn to do things right. It doesn't matter how many times you fall down. What matters is how many times you get up. 5, never give up. As a Nobel Peace Laureate once said, there is always something one can do. In the most modest form, this means to study, to try and seek out solutions, even if they are only partial solutions. The greatness of being human lies not in giving up, in not accepting one's own limitations. God never meant to make life easy. He meant to make men and women great. Lastly, always remember that you are not alone. No matter what happens, your parents and family will always be with you. All of you come from strong spiritual and personal foundations. Your family and true friends will always be there to support you. Congratulations and good luck.
Come on, we practiced this outside, so until we get started, will you forgive us? First and second rows up in line. It would switch when it was on inside. I know you understand that. Marshall Alexander Kremsky, valedictorian, class of 1995.
Kirsten Ann Thomas, secretary, class of 1995.
Shannon Kathleen Duff, valedictorian, class of 1995.
Michael Sean English, treasurer, class of 1995.
Kristen Michelle Costanzo, valedictorian, class of 1995.
Kelly Elaine Harbison, valedictorian, class of 1995.
Kristen Amy McClintock, president, student council.
Catherine Clark English, valedictorian, class of 1995.
Colleen Beth Cranack, vice president, class of 1995.
Brian Patrick Keene, valedictorian, class of 1995.
R.J. Proville, President, Senior Class 1995.
Denise Ellen Ulisny, valedictorian, class of 1995.
Sean A. Black.
Dustin David LeBeau.
Aaron Alagem.
Hillary Susan Leland.
Brian Eric Albert.
Allison Marie Lasonic.
Dina Marie Albert.
Karen Marie Leicar.
Gino Michael Albert.
Margaret Helen Lynn.
Wendy Jane Albright.
Alexander Jinping Liu.
Melissa Ann Oxon.
Jason Edward Lucas.
Kevin Allen.
Catherine Mallory Lynch.
J. Robert Ullman.
James Brian Lynn.
David Bruce Ambrose.
Jennifer Lauren Macy.
Michael Allen Anglin.
Tara Ann Madigan.
Stephanie Alexandra Avalon.
John Stephen Malak.
Bruno Belfour Barua Nunez.
George Jude Malayo.
Rachel Ann Batchelor.
Jeffrey Michael Mandler.
Dwayne Andrew Bauer.
Kristen Alexandra Markovich.
James Joseph Bell.
Megan Lynn Martin.
Michael Jacob Beatty.
Jennifer Lynn Maurer.
Melinda Beth Bursick.
Kelly Ann McArdle.
Robert Ross Bergauer.
Sherry Lynn McCall.
Trevor Christian Bernard.
Robert Paul McDonald.
Sandra Elizabeth Bach.
Jason Kane McGann.
Aaron Thomas Buchkowski.
Maureen Bridget McGarvey.
Thomas John Bogan Jr.
Dana Lynn McGrath.
Stacy Joe Bonenberger.
Michael Patrick McKenzie.
Jeffrey Allen Board.
Jennifer Aaron McKinney.
Timothy James Bowman.
Melissa Ann McMinn.
Megan Hedwig Boyle.
Kate Elizabeth Mearstein.
Mary Helen Breedlove.
Timothy Patrick Messina.
Adam Brinkus.
Susan Beth Matoski.
Nathaniel Thomas Browand.
Donald Charles Michael.
Allison Dawn Brown.
Bradley James Miller.
Edward Robino Brown.
Leah Ann Morelli.
Jamie Allison Brown.
Sarah Elizabeth Morrison.
Kelly Robin Brown.
Elizabeth Ann Mua.
Sean Patrick Brown.
Jason Robert Mulholland.
Sarah Emily Buchanan.
Michael Stephen Munzak.
Amberly Jocelyn Birch.
April Dawn Murphy.
Amy Kathleen Buser.
Christina Renee Murray.
Rebecca Lynn Byard.
Jennifer Lynn Myron.
Daniel Kane.
Ashley Blair Nader.
Joseph Jeremy Cardamone. Jerome
Poonam
Cardamone.
Ashok Navalgun.
Thomas Vincent Carnaggio.
Mark Anthony Nyberg.
Cara Marie Caruso.
Megan Suzanne Nicholson.
Shara Catherine Catanzaro.
Michael Gabriel Nicolella.
Brian James Celedonia.
Allison Lisa Nielsen.
Jonathan Michael Chadwick.
Mark Ryan Nodelman.
Maria Diane Chakos.
Emily Ann Naroski.
Brian Scott Charles.
Jessica Lynn Newsom.
Timothy L. Chiappetta.
Thomas Charles O'Brien IV.
Kelly Jane Clark.
Rebecca C. O'Brien.
E. Russell Cole.
Rory Colin O'Connor.
Catherine Amanda Cook.
Amy Michelle O'Neill.
Amy Beth Corcoran.
Eamon Patrick O'Neill.
Megan Elizabeth Kozlov.
Jared Michael O'Neill.
Christopher Allen Cottrell.
John J. O'Patchen.
Joseph James Coyle Jr.
Lee Matthew Odess.
Andrew Griffith Crees.
Carrie Ann Osel.
Joseph Edward Sirkovich.
Stephen David Oderson.
Gary James Carigliano.
Renee Lynn Panico.
Krista Hope Cyphers.
Amit Manoj Patel.
Karen Lynn Ann Davis.
Laura Elaine Pembroke.
Stephen Davis.
Camilo Armando Pena Gomez.
Robin Christine D.
Christy Phelps.
Ann Elizabeth Deemer.
Nicholas Knox Petronco.
Todd Henry DeFrancesca.
Patrick Thomas Phillips.
Ronald Scott Den.
Matthew Gordon Henry Piquel.
Miranda Elizabeth Dell.
Emily Janet Petrogallo.
Brad Jason Denenberg.
Joseph Lawrence Petropaulo.
Michael Frederick Dennison.
J. Reed Perrine.
Michael Vincent DeSantis.
Christopher Allen Plex.
Paul Robert Desmond.
Dana Jane Kochask.
Brian Charles Dietz.
Daniel Thomas Prendergast.
Sarah Irene Donnelly.
Julie Marie Pucci.
Scott Robert Donovan.
Kathleen Ann Pucci.
Stanley Drudas.
Jason Andrew Rafel.
Carla Jane Evans.
Melissa Rochelle Ramirez.
Leslie Ellen Farler.
Andrew Duncan Raymond.
Andrew Peter Federley, Vice President, Student Council.
Charles Gordon Ray.
Jason Michael Fife.
Matthew Daniel Reese.
Brendan Rory Finan.
Jill Allison Riley.
Kristen Brooks Fino.
Andrea Lee Restivo.
Megan Christine Fisher.
Kirk Grant Robinson.
Michael Patrick Foley.
Julie Ann Rogers.
Michael Roy Fowler.
Dina Marie Romano.
Elizabeth Deborah Frank.
Gina Ann Romano.
Alan Ayer Frankovich.
Rachel Marie Romano.
Brian Thomas Freed.
Rachel Ann Roscoe.
Zachary Meridian Furness.
Scott Raymond Rose.
William Bartlett Gabler.
Rebecca Louise Roth.
Mark Kennedy Gallimore.
Craig Andrew Rowland.
Stephen Lewis Gartland.
Jessica Nicole Sachs.
Davin Nils Gartley.
Mina Sankar.
Thomas Jason Geis.
Daniel Jerome Sanker.
Brian William Glosser. We'll wait. Jean.
Damon Sean Scarborough.
Sudhir Gopal.
Sherry Joe Shevik.
Allison Page Gray.
Georgiana Marie Scheckenroth.
Tracy Lee Greaves.
Carl Matthew Shizzle.
Paul Philip Green.
Michael Francis Seals.
Allison Marie Hale. Andrew McGowan Hollywell.
Jason Edward Shackelford.
Barrett Lee Hammonds.
Susan Marie Sharp.
Carrie Ann Hartman.
Stanley Martin Sherpinski.
Brett Alexander Haskett.
Lisa Ann Chingo.
Brendan Allen Hayes.
Jason Christopher Shaw.
Becky Aaron Heen.
Lindsay K. Shuck.
Michael John Heffernan.
William Sean Singerman.
Rachel Elizabeth Hines.
Emmy Yelena Slivka.
Elizabeth Ann Henderson.
Lindsay Anila Slivka.
Scott Kirby Harrington.
Robert Raymond Smith.
William Stephen Heineman.
Michael Scott Smizer.
James Gardner Hitt III.
Carol Lee Steele.
Aaron Marie Hoffman.
Michelle Lee Salter.
Matthew John Hoffman.
Terry Ann Spratt.
Jeffrey Allen Hogan.
Jonathan Robert Stein.
Leslie Lynn Holliday.
Sarah Louise Steiner.
Dustin Michael Hallsworth.
Jason Todd Steinhardt.
Emily Marie Holt.
Rebecca Ann Stein.
Kristen Ann Hauser.
Jamie Lynn Stone.
Ryan C. Houston.
Christine Elizabeth Stousen.
Krista Elizabeth Hranakis.
Joel Adam Stout.
Julie Elizabeth Hudson.
William Frederick Stratford III.
Corey Patrick Heisel DeLear.
Christian Struden.
Meredith Ray Inverso.
Renee Marie Stewart.
John Pierre Isa.
Beth Ann Sudak.
Michael John Jaquay.
Joshua Leon Peckle.
Conrad E. Jenkins.
Francisco J. Talbot.
Erica Beth Jewell.
Amy Lynn Cambolini.
Timothy Douglas Johns.
Erica Suzanne Thomas.
Erin Elizabeth Johnston.
Wesley Douglas Gordon.
Robert Allen Joseph.
Stephen Todd Todorovic.
Vijay Kapoor.
Susan Farrell Appleman.
Matthew William Karras.
Nancy Jean Euler.
Joseph Arthur Kaufman.
Beth Elaine Vance.
Brian Charles Keever.
Matthew Charles Ilsack.
Tierney Ann Kelly.
David Michael Vogel.
Allison Marie Kerr.
Colleen Claire Wall.
Michael James Kilwine.
Catherine Walsh.
Barbara Michelle King.
James Yusel Watts IV.
Stacy Lynn Click.
Douglas Cole Wheatland.
Kevin Robert Knox.
Todd Erickson Weiss.
Darren Joseph Cook.
James Nicole Bridget Welch.
Marlene Jennifer Kramer.
Jennifer Lynn Welch.
Amber Ray Kraus.
Amy Lynn Welch.
Jennifer Jo Kroll.
Amanda Christine West.
Sonia Latta.
Bethany Jan Williams.
Heather Ann Langford.
Christine Michelle Winkler.
Stephen Robert Lands.
Lisa Emily Zambry.
David Lewis Landsey.
Zachary Edward Ziddick.
Lawrence Kenneth Laska Jr.
Anton Sonnenfeld.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure of introducing to you the graduated class of 1995.